Don't get bored alone, when there are existing channels that can keep you company anywhere, anytime. VitalGH Media is a mother company of all VitalGH channels. We have multiple platforms for free television. You can watch video on demand, rent or buy, or probably subscribe easily for more update. Visit our channels on Vimeo, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Roku TV, and many more, anywhere, everywhere, any day, anytime on your mobile phone, TV channels, Apple Store and Play Store. Don't be left out with existing movies and programs on our various channels. You can visit us on www.vitalghradio1.com.
Obenya, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Yes. Obenya, I can't hear you. Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is yet another Saturday, and I warmly welcome every one of you watching either by Zoom or listening to us on radio to today's episode of Link, which is land issues in Ghana. And as we'll pronounce it in Twi, Asaseho and Sem. You are live on Vital Ghana Radio. And I hope you had a good working week. And however it may have been, we say we thank God and we are looking forward to a great weekend and another purposeful next week, which the good Lord will give us. So my name is Joyce Atajemfi. I am a lawyer with a wide experience in land law, and I also deal in real estate. So if you have any issues on land, as we've been discussing through the past weeks, or you want to acquire property on land in Ghana, definitely you can get in touch. And those of you who got my flyers, my telephone number, both for the one in Delaware and also what can be gotten on WhatsApp, is on it. So getting to the tail end of the program, I will announce it, and definitely feel free to get in touch so that we can help each other with the land issues. And then if you want some property in Ghana, I can help you to acquire it. So once again, welcome to Land Issues in Ghana program, which we have done as Asaseho and Sem. Last week, and I think on the previous week programs, I informed you that we will be doing a tour of the new Land Act, which has been passed in Ghana. It was passed on 23rd December 2020, and it is called the Land Act 2020 Act 1036. And I started giving a bit of an overview of how the law came into existence. I explained that At a point in time, there were about 5 distinct land agencies operating in the country. Distinct. They were distinct in the sense that every one of them had their own enabling law. Every one of them had their own enabling law. And they all had their own directors or bosses, and they all had their way of doing their work without an oversight by a coordinating body as we have it now. So after some issues and all the issues that maybe we still face some of them, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources thought it fit that with the Studies on Land Administration project, a good way out would be having all the land agencies under one umbrella, constituted as established under the 1992 Constitution. So I explained that now all those 5 agencies are divisions of the Lands Commission, and the law backing every one of them is the Lands Commission Act 2008 Act 767. So that is the law that was passed that made all the 5 agencies, the Survey Division, the Land Title Registry, the Land Valuation Board, the Lands Department, Lands Commission as we used to call it then, into one body. And so the law now came into 2020 after lots of stakeholder consultations from the length and breadth of the country, chiefs, family heads, lawyers, surveyors, parliamentarians, all came together, and after a lot of work, we now have one act, which when you have it, it tells you all that you require on land law in Ghana. So we have various sections of the law and various parts of the law, which talk specifically maybe about survey. Another part talks primarily about valuation. Another part talks primarily about land registration. Another part talks primarily about acquisition of government lands. Other parts also give various forms by which lawyers and the people who deal in land can use forms to prepare documents and all those things. So it's an all-embodying law that once you have the Act 1036, it is like you are ready to go. All the information and the land information law you need is available to you. You don't have to go looking for one law after the other. You have one law that when you go through it, all the relevant things you need to know about land administration and land law in Ghana is available. Omo motie yen ni omo mo hwe nso wo Zoom me se me mamu nyina akwa aba e de ba Vital Ghana Radio na nso nyame adom memene da me gidi se senatie bia no adwuma mu efie nsem boko na etisen kra ye de nyame ase efise ye won kwan de na ye wade na me se me mamu nyina akwa aba e de ba Vital Ghana Radio, the ba land issues in Ghana are your friend asase ho nsem. Enti ha de Ghana ho asase ho nsem na ye de titi ye ka ho nsem. Emi se me can sometime good to say ye betime bie program ni mu. Me bedu ba bia sebe se na eya ye nsase kra wo abrochire no ye benya real estate agent bi a obetimi abeboa ye because ye sua about nsase ho nsem. Midin de Joyce Atajenfi na me se mo humanim kakra mo amotie yen kakra no na matime no so kakra me ye lawyer anka afi etwemu na anka me adwuma lands commission but say de me am ye madwuma na ma ye land adwuma no ache bebre nti nsase ho nsem de sebe opese opemwe bi a ye betimi aboa mu anya mu nti ase ani humuim na program yi ye de ba se ebeboa ama suehu aba ɛwɔ nsasesɛm ho sɛbe oba beto asase wɔ nkraya na sɛ Ghana na obi ase sɛbe na de wahyɛ osapo mu nsuo because untimi hu time obi ba bɛka kyerɛ sɛ asase me so me nana dia ana me wɔ judgment wɔ so nti na ayekɔdanda o to asase wɔ Ghana o konso na wo da so ehwɛ w'achi na egyiri sɛ wonya information kakra dia ɛbɛboa wo ɛmaka ma watimi hu sɛ bibia wonam no ɛhɔ na ɛsɛ sɛ wofa ɛmoasi a wohu no wohia no ebi a wohu bibia bɛdɛn akɔ no akɔgye saa ɛmboa no yefi ase adi nkitaho bebree wɔ nsasesɛm ho na ɛme sɛ na wotwe twitwa mu no bi meka sɛ yebefi ase adi nkitaho wɔ land law a ya pass wɔ Ghana no na mekyerɛ mu sɛ sesei no yɛwɔ law kɛseɛ baako a ɛkyerɛ bibia a wohia wɔ nsasesɛm ho wɔ Ghana mekyerɛ mu sɛ first no na omo organizations ehwɛ nsasesɛm so no na ɛdɔɔso a obia ɛwɔ ne gyinabea ana ne fapem a ɔde yɛ adwuma enti ana ɛma nkitahudie no ɛnkɔwawa enti adwuma bebree a ministry ni yɛɛ no ekosi mpempem so bi sɛ land administration project no ani ho sumu ɛbae no ɛbɛsɛ ɛbɛka land agencies ni na ɛde abom nti land title registry survey division survey department then land valuation board and the lands department and you name the first cyber lands commission and as it says in a friend of public investor lands division moshe abansa asisono and part of we town and planning agency no ni na best lands commission ase na law na ema ni na ye ba kono ye friend of the lands commission act 767 it was passed in 2008 enti me fan say land act as say eba bedi mu nkomo yi eno na aye fapem ana say emra eda ho a ehwe nsase ho nsem nyinara ewo Ghana enti wonsa ka saa law yi dia na opese ohu wo Ghana nsase sem ho nyina no ubobo mu ana obiebie mu a obede ubehu na senya enim no lord ya na brofo no senate no nye de bia na etese na ebia ye kire ye wo school enti na ebehia se bia obenya lawyer bi obeboa wo but when once nya humwe kakra so a de eboa ebebre enti ebefi ase ende so we are continuing and every law has the purpose for which it is passed. Every law, or what we call in law that it is to cure a mischief. Ebi mefa say ye kano layman's language a yare bi na na ewo ho a ana say insunsun so bi na na ewo ho a abai epe ho anu edru enti edeba nti ye mpasse law keke am pempi na bint me hu se bibi tochima enti esese eden yede mre bi ba na eso ano enti normally no sa the reason for the law and the cronti law no ye hu wo bebia brofo mu ana land law mu ye kana the long title na long title na wa ha no meka ne kakra na ma kira ase it says that Land Act 2020 an act is to revise, harmonize, and consolidate the laws on land to ensure sustainable land administration and management, effective and efficient land tenure, and to provide for related matters. I read it again. An act is to revise, harmonize, and consolidate the laws on land to ensure sustainable land administration and management, effective and efficient land tenure, and to provide for related matters. Let me say the key words say when we revise, harmonize, and consolidate. And to revise, send a school, revise no yesterday. na wosua deda no na ide wo san ye den e kɔ ekyire ahwɛ sɛ wate ase ana ebi so ho a o revise se na be a na bibi ehu hia biom no we de ye yi free mu the teacher ka sɛ oyɛ revision na ebi ɔka sɛ we de ehu hia biom ebi a mama mu nsua no biom ana sɛ ne ye no sesei no nti ase ewo mu anyway. And then we see the word harmonize. The root word near harmony. As a harmony say be nkofo to ndwom na kwa papa bi no mo to ndwom na obia e bɔ ne parta. Wotum say ndwom na de to asum pa. Enti me fa ne say sa na etie harmonize. Na bibia ebe de ebe to asum. Enye say e bia survey act na e kan we na Land Title Act so air can we because your parcel law separate na ebi wo ho a na law bi air can asem foforo law bi so because etia law so and another provision and another act bi mu enti harmonize na be a bibia be de wo fa sa law yi de me say na say de bibia be kotene totin ofri ha na okọ ha ofri ha na okọ ha. And then the final word we'll look at will be consolidate. 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 Because say eka boom. Eka ni na e boom. It means say na meka no onya sa land act ya na say when your document ehia obenya ntiase ani humu a ohia e wo land administration. So ana land acquisition, land registration, land surveying, all the issues about land, you will get it. I'm just explaining that every law has a purpose. And in law, we say that it's to cure a mischief. It is to solve a problem. And normally, the reason for the law is found in what we call the long title. In law, we call it the long title. So the long title, which I have just read, and I don't think it is necessary to repeat it, looked at keywords. And the keywords is revise, harmonize, and consolidate. Harmonize, revise, and consolidate so that there will be sustainable land administration and management, and then there will be effective and efficient use of land and to provide for other related matters. Enti nneɛma ɛwɔ nsase ho nsɛm nyinaa no what is supposed to be looked at and the law looks at it. So we can see the purpose of the law. Revise, harmonize, and consolidate the laws on land in Ghana. And like I said earlier, it was passed on 23rd December 2020. Na government aban so ɛyɛ den ɛde ne nsa ɛfoa so. Into the first section no, yɛdi ho nkita ho nti mɛbobɔ so kɛkɛ. Ɛno kyerɛ na yɛfrɛ no pɔfo kata mu no interest in land. Mekyerɛ some time ago sɛ asase yɛ ade a ɛnti sɛ dwetɛ anaasɛ gold wagyapadeɛ bi anaa wagudi bi a ɛyɛ wo deɛ a na ɛyɛ wo deɛ obi ni mu kyɛfɛ biu. But asase deɛ ɛnti saa. Asase yɛ ade a enipa pii tumi nya kyɛfa wɔ mu. Yɛbɛfi ase afi ɔhene wɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Aban ɛwɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Abusua ɛwɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Wo nso a wobɛkɔ sɛ wopɛ sɛ wogye asase de si dan no nso yɛ dɛ wɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Oba bi a sɛbe wote aseɛ kora a wayɛ well ade ama no ɔwɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Wode akɔ bank so akɔgye loan a bank no so ɛwɔ kyɛfa wɔ mu. Enti edimu sɛ asase no da hɔ baako but nkurɔfo a wɔkyɛ fa wɔ mu yɛ dɛn ɛyɛ bebree. Enti section 1 ne deɛ ɛno na ɛmi sɛ ɛka ho asɛm. Enti mɛbɔ so but ɛmi sɛ yɛ explain deda enti na ehu hia no ɛna yɛ a mɛbɔ so mɛkyerɛ aseɛ paa sɛ na ɛbɛyɛ a ɛbɛtɔ asum nneɛma no bi wɔ hɔ deɛ a ɛmi sɛ ehu hia sɛ yɛbɛhu anaasɛ yɛbɛnya mu nti aseɛ yɛn deɛ no na yɛbɛfa wɔ mu. Enti aha no yɛka bibi allodial title ɛno na yɛ ahemfo deɛ allodial title anaasɛ aban so gye asase etimi ka sɛ allodial title no wɔ aban mu na no po sometime me kyerɛ sɛ aban wɔ bibi efe no eminent domain ayɛ ne tumi ɔwɔ ɛna adwuma ɛsɛ sɛ ɔyɛ ma nkurɔfo wɔ kuro no mu no nti no ɔwɔ tumi ɛwɔ asase so ɔka sɛ asase yɛpɛ sɛ yɛgye na yɛde yɛ mpontondwuma de ma amanfoɔ na wotumi yɛ den ɛsɛ ɔgye na mekyerɛ mu sɛ no nti na ɛwɔ baabi te sɛ Legon edu baabi papa bi no ɛ president wɔ Ghana bɛɛ dɛ menka mamɔsre na ɛm sɛ Legon no ɔkaa sɛ na ɛne ne din a yɛde to university so nti ɛm sɛ strike bi baa Ghana na ɔka sɛ nkɔfoɔ akɔkɔ strike no ɔsɛ Cape Coast Legonfoɔ nso akɔ strike Kumasi Legonfoɔ nso ayɛ den akɔ strike ɛna Accra Legon nso ɔmo ayɛ den ɔmo akɔ strike enti mu sɛ saa Legonfoɔ nyinaa aban ne gyegye yɛ no yɛayɛ ma na ɛdɛn ɛkɔ school hɔ nti mu sɛ nsase no bi hɔ a na ɔmo agyene kakraa efisɛ university deɛ ebi ɛsɛ sɛ ɔwɔ for years and years to come yɛwɔ university was wɔ Aburokyire Harvard no mo na adeɛ a yɛteeɛ some could be 600 years old Oxford a ɛwɔ London na adeɛ hundreds of years old nti na yɛsɛ yɛgye asase no a yɛgye ne kakraa efisɛ nim sɛ nananom ne nana kansoanom sɛ ɛdɛn ɛbɛkɔ school ɛwɔ hɔ nti Kumasi Legon Cape Coast Legon ɛna Accra Legon sɛ na ɛmɛ sɛ president bi ɛkaeɛ no ɛnyina yɛ nsase aban gyeeɛ because of the allodial title na yɛbɛka sɛ allodial title na his right of eminent domain na ɛwɔ bi common law freehold customary law freehold usufruct interest ɛna leasehold interest sɛ ɛtumi sɛ borɔfo na ɛwɔ mu no so but na ehia ɛwɔ mu ani sɛ wɔkɔ akɔtɔ asase a mmara ne sɛ ɛyɛ ɔhene bi deɛ ɔno na ɔwɔ allodial title na out of that allodial title ɔno nso tumi ma ɔdan what we call a customary freehold and now also leasehold interest ɛwɔ asase mu a normally na ebi wɔ hɔ 99 years 50 years normally 99 years near for residential and 50 years ɛyɛ commercial purposes na wotum say you can borɔfo bi freehold na no na mostly yɛgye sɛ yɛgye asase ɛwɔ obi hɔ a yɛntua ka bio mu a ɛno ne freehold no ɛno kyerɛ sɛ yɛwɔ deɛ kra na yɛkenkan yɛbɛhu sɛ sɛsɛ aban de mmara ɛde aba sɛ ebi wɔ hɔ kora po a ɛnyɛ sɛ yɛyɛ saa freehold bio but mpɔtamu bebree no na yɛma freehold yi ɛwɔ hɔ nti that is what is for section 1 no we'll quickly jump to section 9 ɛmi sɛ ne na yɛbɛdi ho nkɔmmɔ ɛnnɛ into section 9 no kyerɛ yɛn sɛ na yɛaka deda some time ago no nsase no ɛyɛ stool or skin land clan or family land na me kyerɛ sɛ nsase no bebree about 80% of lands in Ghana no ɛyɛ stool or family lands ɛsɛ aban die wɔ mu no ɛyɛ den about 20% ɛna mmara no kyerɛ sɛ sesei no saa nsase no ɛyɛ stool no dia na nsase no ɛwɔ hɔ ɛde ma abusuaku na ɛwɔ saa potem hɔ enti ebia na wofi atwema kofodua sɛ ɔhene bi wɔ hɔ na ɔhwɛ nsase ne so a ɔhwɛ so ɛde ama wo a wofiri saa atwema kofodua hɔ enti ɔhene no ɛnyɛ ne dia a obetimi ayɛ ne sɛ na ɔpɛ na ɛsɛ sɛ ɔyɛ den ɔhwɛ so mmara kwan so customary law kwan so any usage sɛ na mmara tete yɛde to hɔ sɛ bia wo ba wo de snap northern areas na bia wo de cola sɛ na amamra ne tie no ɔbɛhwɛ so no wayɛ den wayɛ ne saa na baby ehia ne ɛyɛ section 2 na ɛka sɛ me kan ɛwɔ borɔfo mu na efe ya kan wɔ twi mu we are discussing the land law and I just finished by saying that the section 1 talks about the interest that a person can have in land. And I just finished by saying that land is a commodity. Land is a thing that various people can have an interest in. It is not like jewelry that belongs to one person. So the land can belong to the chief. It can belong to the families that are there. It can belong to an individual who goes to acquire land there. And it can also belong to your son or your daughter that you have willed or you wish to give the land to. And if you have mortgaged the land to, then the bank also has an interest in it. And so land is an entity or commodity where several people can have an interest in. The chief, the family, the individual going for the land, and the one that you who have gone for the land want to pass it on to. And normally, the law is saying that the chief is taking care of the land for the people of the area. So if you come from Otubluhum in Accra, if you come from Seveligu in Accra, in the northern region, wherever you are coming from, the chief there is taking care of the land for you. It is not his private property. I think that's the key word. It's not his private property, but it's a trust given to them that, yes, take care of the property for us. If people want some, definitely give it to them, but it's to be managed in such a way that the interest in it or what comes out of it will benefit the whole society or the community who are there. And so we are seeing that when we look at Section 9, and maybe I'll not even mention the sections because it's not relevant to our discussion here. I'm reading a portion of the law and I will explain it in a layman's term and also explain it in Twi. It says that a person shall not create an interest in land or right over any stool or skin or clan or family land which vests in that person, another person, or a body of persons a freehold in that land, howsoever described. And see, let me just repeat it because it's important. A person shall not create an interest in or right over any stool or skin or clan or family land which vests in that land, howsoever described, a freehold interest. And the freehold interest, no, and normally, say, when we buy properties in the US and other countries now, they normally give you a freehold interest in the land. And so what you pay is your property tax. After your mortgage, you pay your property tax. So you are on the land and you can pass it on. If you can pay your mortgage and if you finish pay your mortgage, it becomes yours forever. The law in Ghana is now saying that now nobody can say, no chief, no family head, nobody can say that I am giving a person a freehold interest. That means I am giving land that will be yours forever. No. So what will be given now are leaseholds. And leaseholds normally is for either 99 years, and if it's commercial, it's going to be for 50 years. But it does not mean that if you had a freehold interest in land, you cannot go ahead and register it. No. The LIs or a bit about land education is law education is that when a law is passed, it is not the same day that the provisions in that law are implemented. Sometimes a law can come in and it will be implemented 10 years later, a long time later. So sometimes there are some things that have to be put in place before the law can be implemented. So some things will be put in place, various subsidiary laws, as we call it in law language, subsidiary laws will be passed.
Right.
That will now be implemented. So that after some time now, when you take your documents to the Lands Commission, you'll be told that yes, because of the Land Act 2020, Act 1036, although the chief has sold the land to you as a freehold, it has to be turned into a leasehold because the law of Ghana, which I've just read to you, says that nobody should be given a freehold interest in Ghana. The next verse, however, says that it does not, however, take the right of a subject of the land to the use of the land. Just a few minutes ago, I just explained that if you come from Savelugu, or you come from Otubluhum, or you come from Atwima Kufuridia, or na ufri, enti, esan se ankopon bo wode to ho no, ufi saa ebusua anase, oye part of that stool no, you have a right to use land. Enti mpempi no, yetinu se nananom ye papa no ewo mfuo bebre a for a long time. You have a right to the use of the land. No, you can't show say 50 years. If you say ufri ho, until you have a share in that land. You have a share in that land. And so long as one ton ye also would the year way full and abibino. Whichever a woman is say we or mine bano and I say chrome hop bano, it is yours. You can use it as such. And then further instructions that is coming up is that there are restrictions on land that can be acquired by non-citizens. Let me say, like I said, no, the law is a revision. And says our law it started in 1969. It was in the 1979 Constitution and also into the 1992 Constitution. I can say, I'm reading it now in the English language as provided in the law. A person shall not create an interest in or right over land in Ghana which vests in another person who is not a citizen of Ghana a freehold interest, howsoever described. Into the key things are that obi entimi nton asase ema obi a onye Ghana ni sena maka no ufiri krom ho a ubetimi anya asase a ube yusu obi nka nkyerɛ wo sɛ ɔhene ne nka nkyerɛ wo sɛ wofiri kurom a mema 50 years daabi ɛsiane sɛ woyɛ ɔmamba no nti you have a right in that land. But the law is telling us here say wonyɛ ɔmamba if you are not a citizen of Ghana, and the key word is citizen. So you can come to Ghana, obetumi aba Ghana sɛ ɔba abɛpa asase, but so long as you are not a citizen there, a freehold interest words cannot be given to you. And then it shows to say, as far as back as 22nd August 1969, no, sana mekai no, aban mambra as at that time, no kra say, wonye citizen a, wontimi nya eden freehold interest. Now the only interest you can have is a leasehold interest of 50 years. 50 years. Now 50 years no kra no, ye the free 1969 no. After that time, now after that 50 years, no, we interest no, you can do from say it's extinguished. We interest and now was as in na day you trim. Aha. And see, so when you're citizen, that is what the law is saying. And now assassin say your name is stool there. It will go back to the stool. Say government land is so I bear a call a buying so a day a ho. And see, that is it. And I think this law is not a new law. I think most of us know about this law for some time now. And then it says the same old thing. Oh, leasehold, so I above 60 years, 70 years. A man say, one year citizen of the country there from 22nd day of August 1969. No, yeah, any day, yeah, any freehold, yeah, any 50-year lease for you. And that is what that section is talking about. And me pamucho mpɛn pii no yɛ ware a ɛyɛ ankɔfo feel sɛ wo ware a na onipa koro nso abɛyɛ citizen there bi ɛm sɛ yɛwɔ aburokyire na adeɛ ne etimi hu sɛ ɛnyɛ saa na mmara ne teɛ. The fact that you have married somebody doesn't make the person a citizen of the country. There are what laws you have to go by, provisions you have to comply. And you must say we and son no aba abɛyɛ a citizen of that country. And saa na sɛ woyɛ okofa broni ba de ba Ghana and also kofa broni ba maybe the ba Ghana. The fact that we are no man get citizen of the country there be. Overcall Ghana Immigration Service, the procedures that are required for you to become a citizen. Why are they quiet? And yes, Ghana must say, when you're citizen of Ghana, and you may be a while a day, won't to me any day, and yet, or properties cannot be given to you as a citizen of the country. Into that is the provision we should take note very well as it is in the law, as it is in the law now. As it is in the law now. Enti me pamocho emi say nkomobo mu an meka say so many laws are being passed in Ghana which relate to property ownership. Say no Ghana ebedu baby uba na wu ni wo tax identification number wontimi embeye documents e wo Ghana. Wu ni valid ID card wontimi embeye documents wo Ghana. Mpempi no esan akwantu ntini ebinum wo ho a ubisa na say ne passport na iden ewu ne passport na ewu nti okra odo okra Ghanaian passport na ayeden ewu me patrol P wamba amba renew wamba amba ye Ghanaian valid ID a ebedu baby no what asase ne kra nso yentimi ayeden yentimi register emfa ma because the requirement at the lands commission is that esese we yeden esese we what is our documents no eba enti epamucho P se mo ba Ghana anase mo ba holidays na ade a mombo modern ne momfa matonto form emra ye de baba about property ownership how to register companies any saa na many na mombo modern na monye enye sa wuje wachi kra obi entimi enye den entimi en register saa sene den emfa emmawo ebi so ho a ne beketo se momfa mo passport pictures den emfambra enti se wuni passport pictures ne saa na mana no wenja wachi saa odipa kwa waja wachi se on register asase ne mfa ma ho ontimi enye den ontimi emfa enye den en register na okwa register na the next thing that will be asked is that where is your valid ID enti ebia na wo voters ID bi but the fact that wo voters ID ne does not mean say obetimi ayede obetimi akwa eden use no as a valid ID no it has expired enti mpamucho opi mobile ya mobo modia information to form na mobo modia enye yesa ne man. Yeah, we are continuing our discussion on the land law in Ghana. If you have just tuned in, this is Vital Ghana Radio, or if you have zoomed in, you are watching us live. I'm coming to you from Accra, but we are broadcasting to the whole of people who are tuned in to Vital Ghana Radio. And this is our weekly program on land issues in Ghana, what we have dubbed as our Sehun in Sem. And today we are discussing the new Land Act, which was passed last year on 23rd December 2020. We are going through the relevant provisions that affect us or that we need to know about. Not everything is required of us to know, but the basic ones that we need to know about is what we are discussing. And then we are bringing up its implications to us. So you are listening to Lawyer Joyce Atejemfi. And like I said, I'm a land lawyer and I've been in the land sector for a long time. If you have any issues on land, just feel free, feel comfortable. You can either contact me directly on my WhatsApp number, which is 0264 257 or you can come through the producer, able producer, and you can be able to reach me on that, so that if you have any questions, any suggestions, if you have anything or any issues you want to discuss or you want help on, we can be able to do that for you. And if you want to ask a question whilst we are having this program, you just unmute your mic and you can be part of the program. You can ask your question or bring in your contribution. Okay. So we are reading a provision which is supposed to be a cure, but in our discussion we'll find out whether it is a cure against land guards. I'm say I think same be about land guards. Now me there me say me nsusu any say land guards no. Nieme binti na ma sa land guards ne ba. No kure ni me ni mo obi a obesore keke say me kwa akobo obi asase ho ban. Ayi obi ntu ya nika. Enti mpempi no nkrofo bi omo chefe bi wasase ni mu anase wakotu esika kutu bi but ohun se bi a na no nim se de be ma no no ye mfa ma ne ye enti na ye de no akokot anase wakwako hu onipa kuno oto asase ne won ho se wa ma mensa nka asase ya emi se ndi endi ye enti wakobe pa wakopo pa na apenkrofo bi de go asase ne so na ye de otue omuka enti obi ba asase ne so omo de omo ye de omo ya paafo omo de ni se etue omuka so omo ba asase ne ho eban enti enu ntina ya na emaland guards na eden because asase ba ko no abusua se waton abusua we se waton na abusua mu na mu achemienu miensa na obi so asan akoton asase na ntina eden nkofo bebre wo interest wa asase no se na yekai na adoso obi aso se mato enti se bi all man sika na enye den ense kwa enti everybody seeks a way to protect their interest in that land, and that gives cause for a lot of these things on land guards obi so also judgment wa asase no so enti obe protect asase ne be ase na judgment ne kan no obetimi ayden enya asase no wetue bi $1 billion cedis $1 billion sika bebre bi nti onja ema obi embede embe fa asase no kwa enti no no so akobo pa enti mostly no obi land guard bi a enye so no wa hwede akogina ade na so akobo obi asase no ban etua ne ka enti no wo sa asase no so na emra ne sesei ni se me kan wo poto kasem yewi a na ya kyerase kakra. It says that a person who unlawfully exercises or purports to exercise supervision or control of land development in a location has no interest in land and extorts money or other benefits from a person who has an interest or prevents a developer from developing the land or personally or through another person unlawfully uses force or violence to prevent a person who has an interest in land from having access to the land or drives away that person with an interest in land from the land commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 15 years or both. Enti emiseni aka no poto kasem no a summary of it is that obi okojina obi asase so na oye ni hintidua na odi tumi ana force wakopetuo anase wakopesekan ana bibi edi ewudie abegina asase no se o ma wo ho kwan na won develop asase no mra se watomra esese oni ho kwan se obeye na oye no oni ho kwan se obeye na oye no enti se aban eso ne nsa ana police so ne eso ne mu a obetimi ayede akọ prison for 5 years not less than 5 years and not more than 15 years enti we de emiseye emra nkofo mu ye land guard sem na ade na emra ne sesei no wo kojina ho na so ya agiman na wo mo obi kwan na onsi ne dan e wa asase a ebia wafa mra kwan so akogye a aban se ye chiwa emra ne sesei se ye chiwa itime den itime bo kwadu na efe ye de watum 5 years not less than 5 years and not more than 15 years. And further, the law is also saying that a person who uses or through another person uses force, violence, or intimidation to prevent or obstruct a lawful owner of land from developing the land commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a term of imprisonment of not less than 10 years and not more than 15 years. Enti yetimi hu se isusure kakra wo. First one no said omopako no esi wo kwan. But aha ne de o se obi odi den force, violence, odi awidisem ebi o etimu se yekuni pe bi wa asase so nkofo kretredro ntuo na ade ebi o ne mani bi o wote kwa ese ebi o sada pe kofafunu practical to asase no so sene be den ye be ma wa free asase no so nti na nsem na edo so bebre but mra na ka se obi o de oba na odi tumi edi awidisem violence and all those things I be prevent and the key word here is obstruct a lawful owner obi o wakọ akọji asase imra kwan so na ebia wanya land title certificate o se o ma won si dan no ebi se obi abọ pa bible peye we ne say law ne say chisa onipa kro na obekwa akodem for not less than 10 years ba akona ye hu ne 5 years but we dey who dey true sem with the same ne basta eba ho na o say not less than 10 years and not more than what 15 years imprisonment. And also, by law, also say a person with an interest in land may apply to a court for a restraining order against a person who unlawfully exercises or purports to exercise supervision or control of the land. And say, a man in Matumi say, so what could you assassinate so on Maso Quainswa? Obeko court, no kwakoji near friend restraining order. As a conform way to do some assassin, so Obeko order. na police for akọ serve say mo need to me say moye na moye no emra say mo need to me say moye ene eden ne moye no enti enene ne aban emra no ema ho kwan say oni bebe eden etimi ye ewa asase no to protect your interest in the land. It also says that a person with interest in the land may make an application to court for an interlocutory injunction against a trespasser on the land, even though the name of the trespasser is unknown. Ebi ultimately say, obi so obi wo ho say oti why be why any foundation, why any dan wakosi lenting level. Anadwo ahomachi obesore ne e ba be ka che ne say obi abeden abebubu dan no nkofo bi abebubu dan no. A man say utimi court ejine friend interlocutory injunction. Interlocutory injunction here say injunction I say yen wi asem ni di. Asem no court yen wi edi. But interim measure as a ma utumi yen wi asem ni di e ma judgment di but ye ma utumi bi say nkofo bi how e wa asase ni sunti ye den ye betimi akoje injunction against that person. Who ni mo nipa chrono crab law ni se obekwa akoje ochine bi hu onipa kro na waka se wo na oye se etutu aseminti me de to so ama de hit me do call the police station ase na mra ne tie no ya de anywhere edisa. And we say we have about 15 minutes or so to go on the program. And this time me kai no or question be it doesn't matter say that's not what we are discussing now. Nema ya discussed earlier what issue on land, be how or question be or person bisa. You can come in, you'll mute your mic and you'll be given the opportunity to ask the question on air. Wait maybe say a question on it's me esua ade then ewo mu. And Mr. Sam, a previous discussion, make sure I say, I buy right to say, Ukoji asase depending on our person wodi depending on our person wodi a share with the number of years ubetimi ayusu the asase no. Nti me ba be kan ho no, na ma trust here ewo twi kasemu kakra. It says that despite any provision to the contrary in any other enactment, a grant of farming rights in a stool, clan, or family land shall not exceed A, in the case of poultry farming or the cultivation of cereals, a term of 25 years. And so, asase, now so what the poultry farmer, a man say, you cannot get more than 25 years lease on it. Won't mean more than 25 years lease. That is the position of the law on it. In the case of ranching or the cultivation of tree crops, a term of 50 years. Ranching here, conform here, ranching, that is it. And I said tree crops, cocoa, kutu, and eutrophial plants normally oil no as a tree crops no and mass 50 years and no they 50 years and to say poultry there na 25 years no so what do you timber so a mass 50-year lease. I can see say obia baswa what bisa J, you are welcome. I think I can see your question. You are asking how can I buy farmland in Ghana? Okay, I'll just finish this provision and then we'll have a short discussion on the question you have asked. It's depending on what you want to do. No, a man say, obetimi a term of years. In the view of what hini no ho, what's the pass? I say about the poultry farm. Into hini the or the amount 50 years, or the amount crack. And say, you are not supposed to have more than 25-year lease in the land. Ebiswa wakoje for timber and as wakoje for odokwakwaye cocoa and they be also ubetumi afa asase kra de aye na ope emra say it should be for 50 years. So it doesn't matter what you may have signed with the chief or the family head. Oba emra say 50 years, so the leasehold will be reduced to a 50-year term. If it's a freehold too, it will be reduced to a 50-year term. And some of it timber ne mining rights kwa asase ne kese a obetumi adan enya corporate body or your corporate
Send the internet now. I go off. Oh, back.
question a bit. Opinion, somebody on the line. Does somebody want to ask a question?
It's the same guy, Jane.
Jay. Okay, Jay. You said how do you acquire a farming land in Ghana? Okay, the process is basically the same as you would acquire any land. And we have gone through some discussions on these things that the most important thing or the starting point is for you to identify the land and get a licensed surveyor to prepare a site plan over the area. Prepare a site plan over the area. When you prepare the site plan, you conduct a search at the relevant regional office, and there are lands commission offices in all the regions, the capitals, and even some districts. So you can go and conduct your search there. And depending on what the search reveals, we have had an extensive discussion on these things. Depending on what the research reveals, you will take the appropriate steps. So the search report is to advise you on the way forward. You may see that even in a search, you would realize that where you want to acquire for the farm, maybe somebody has already gone to acquire the same land. The chief cannot sell that land to you. If you sell it, he sells it and you buy it. When you go to the lands office, it will not be able to process the documents for you because the legal interest is in the person who has now acquired the land. Whether it is for 25 years or 50 years, the person is the legal owner for that period of time. Because you're asking for a farming land, I think the most important thing for you is to try and find out what kind of farming do you intend to do? What kind of farming? Because there are so many soil types. I think when you ask the agriculturist, depending on what you want to do, if you want to produce maize, there is a kind of land which may be appropriate for it, which is quite different from land that you'd want to acquire if you want to plant cocoa, you want to plant a coconut tree, if you want to plant a Utrufa, this thing, a plant, the one that produces the oil. So I will advise that because you are zeroing in not for residential purposes or to build a house, please try and get in touch with an agriculturist, or when you go to town planning, they will help you. They will let you know the areas that may be good for the purpose for which you want to acquire the land. I can see that for poultry farm. Okay, poultry farm, I guess you can do a poultry farm almost on any particular piece of land. So the process is still the same. Find out which land you think you are interested in, looking at location. And poultry farm, I'm sure it's a business. So all the elements that are required for business, you should consider it. Proximity to your market, the people who will be interested in it, where you'll be getting food for the poultry, accessibility, and all those things. If you're in a far off place, maybe how you get your medicines, refrigeration, and all those things. So I guess if you are entering into that business, all that is required concerning that business, you will take heed, you ask questions about it, and it will be provided you so that you can have it in a location that will benefit the purpose for which you want to acquire that particular piece of land. But then, Jay, please be guided that the same basic processes for acquiring land still applies to your application for a poultry farm. Get a licensed surveyor to give you a site plan. Depending on the area, if it's in the Greater Accra region, it should be a bar-coded plan. And I've estimated a bar-coded plan on this program before. Get a bar-coded plan, conduct a search. Conduct a search. I said, even if that is the only information you're able to get from this discussion, Jay, I think it's good information, and you'll be able to continue from there on. Okay, Jay, you asked whether we can help to find the land. Yes, I have just put my number on, and so you can call me. So I'm repeating my number for the purpose of Jay. If you have a pen, please take it and write it. And my number is on WhatsApp. It is 0264 257 030. 0264 257 030. So you can call me on WhatsApp and we can have further discussions about what you want to do. I think we would go over some of the things that we are doing, and then it's going to be a continuous process. So next week we are going to continue from where we are ending off. And I think I would want you to take note that we are coming to a conclusion on our discussion today on the term of years you can get depending on the kind of product you want to produce, what you want to use the land for. And I just explained that if it is a poultry farm, the law says 25 years. The law says 25 years. So if you go and the chief gives you the land and says, even take it, it is yours forever. When you come, it is for 25 years. And then if you are going to plant cocoa and all those things, the law says you are going to have what? A 50-year lease over the land. And today we have just learned that gradually we are coming to the place in Ghana where a person cannot buy a freehold land. A freehold land. And when I say a freehold land, I think immediately the way we buy property in the US and in UK and other countries, where when you're able to pay off your mortgage, the property becomes yours forever. Because of the issues about Ghana, Ghana is saying that no, nobody can have a freehold interest in a land. The law says that it thinks that when you are able to have a leasehold interest, it is better because you'll be paying rent. What happens is that because the value of our money, I would say, goes down a bit too quickly, maybe the land that you bought some 10 years ago for 2,000, 50,000, the value goes down, and then that value that you bought it from the chief, it is no more worth anything after 10 years time, and the value of it goes down and all those things. So maybe those are some of the things. And if it is a lease, it means that every year you are supposed to be paying rent. Every year you are supposed to be paying rent. And if the chiefs are able to collect these rents on their properties, it will be a lot of income to them. It will be a lot of income to them, and the children and children from that family or stool will be able to have some money in the coffers. It does not become a one-off payment. The freehold interest, you pay off one, and that is it. So you bought the land maybe in 1970, 1990, you paid about $20,000 for it, or 20,000 cedis, and that's it. And that's it. So if the chief used it to buy a house, to buy a car, whatever use of it, that's it. The people who come after him will not be able to benefit from that 20,000 that you paid some 10 years ago. But if it is a lease, you are paying rent every year, and they say little drops of water make a mighty ocean. Those little payments, if only the chiefs were to be collecting these rents, there'll be so much money in their coffers that they could use for other purposes. And the citizens or the indigents of the land will be able to have money that can be used for various purposes, and even develop the communities that they are in, and the poverty levels can also go down because the stool has money. It can give scholarships. There are so many things that could have been done if they were able to mobilize these monies. So please take note. Very soon, you cannot come to Ghana and say you want to buy a freehold land. That is the law. But I've just explained that it takes a certain date for its implementation. It takes a certain date for its implementation. So I think last week or last 2 weeks, I encouraged that please find out if your fathers, your mothers have documents, endeavor to register them. Because as the new laws come, it may be applicable to the law, may be applicable to your documents. So although your father or your mother may have bought a freehold interest in land, at that time, the law allowed you to buy that land. But if you didn't register it and you are now coming to register it, the law is that no more can you register a freehold interest. So please, I encourage you to protect your interest in your land, to try as much as possible to acquire, to register your interest in your land. That will secure maybe the freehold that your father or your mother or you yourself may have acquired for yourself. So today we have started looking at the land law, and I said it's a consolidation of various laws. It revises and it has harmonized the law. So when you get this Land Law Act 1036, all you need to know about land issues or land law in Ghana, it will be able to provide the information. And so what we are trying to do here is to pick out the relevant points that relates to you. It's not all the provisions, and it is quite a voluminous document. It's not all the provisions that you need to know, but the salient ones, the important ones that we think we need to know as citizens of the country, or people who will be interested in buying land, will be able to share this information. And it is information sharing. So please, if you also have information, you can ask, you can add on. You can also ask questions, it will clarify. So please feel free to keep your questions coming. We can then have a more interactive service and we'll be able to provide relevant information that you would require. So thank you all for joining me today on the land issues in Ghana, or Asase Ho Nsem, as we dub it locally. And I hope we have learned something. Have a very good working week the next week, and God willing, I'll see you again next week, same time, 5 p.m. EST across, and US and the other areas that listening to Vital Ghana Radio. So keep tuned in, and see you again next week. Openyi, I think I'll hand over to you, unless there's a question you would want to ask.
Oh, thank you.
Pachuai.
Okay. Last week in the but they said new one in the text and maybe I will be at the and next week so a bishia. Normal baby or we see no into a bachelor na so here a form ha who say who person share bibia into one case with me share like documents here you can share it from here.
Okay. Okay.
The Rebecca actually
Okay.
so
Thank you also. Thank you also. All of us have a blessed week. Thank you very much.
Or chance also another program. And yeah, more than say, thank you and good night.